Welcome to Between the Sheets podcast with Dr Samantha Worthington and Brendan Neal, where we explore midlife and everything in between. Sam, how you going?
Brendan, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks. Fantastic.
Good. What are we talking about today?
Oh, today's a bit of a juicy one.
No doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, it is about things that from our past that trigger us and that we bring into new relationships.
Midlife relationships.
Yes.
Okay. That's a great one.
It is. And it spans all the relationships.
Does
that we
it?
go into.
Because you could have issues from childhood, right? You could have, right. Okay. All the way up to your very last relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, because that'd be fresh.
Yes. Fresh, and also, if it's not so deep, maybe easily solvable.
Oh,
I don't know. Depends on how deep the cut is.
That reminds me of a Rod Stewart song.
Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Was it?
Do you even know
First
him?
up is the...
Yeah. First cut is the deepest.
I remember Cat Stevens singing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure many people have done covers of
Was
that.
it? Okay, do you think Rod Stewart, was he...
It's his song.
Was it?
Well, I'm going to give him credit for it.
Okay.
And I can
gonna have
stand
to Google
corrected.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. Yeah. So have you ever heard, Sam, you ever had a friend or maybe
No.
a family member or someone who has, started going out with someone or met someone, made a new friend?
Going
And-
out. I think I'm too old for that phrase.
Oh, okay.
Going out with. Yeah.
Dating.
Apping. I don't know.
They swiped and they
Yeah.
connected. Okay. So a new person.
Okay.
Things have been going great. They maybe have one or two dates or something. And then something happens, a little bit of a hiccup, a bump. And
After one or two dates, so early.
well, it can be pretty early.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you hear, this is the phrase that I hear, red flag.
Oh,
Yeah.
where do you
That's
hear
a common
that
one.
phrase from?
A red flag.
Yeah.
Pretty much a whole heap of Instagram reels. I've never had it said to
All
me.
the research, right?
All the research I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So the,
Yeah, there are also green flags.
well, there
You
are
want to
green
look at it
flags.
from
However,
a positive perspective.
yeah, certainly.
Okay.
You don't hear about green flags too much, do you?
I do.
You do.
I only look for the good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm quite optimistic as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so we're talking hypothetically a friend or someone that I know that was in a relationship, is in their midlife, now is in a new relationship, one or two dates later, one or two, that soon?
Can be.
Okay.
Or it could be way further down the track.
Okay. All right. And now they what? What happens?
Let's say there's an incident or something occurs.
What type of incident?
Uh,
A trigger.
yes.
Okay.
Something that triggers people.
Okay.
What are some common triggers? Or can you give me an example of a trigger that you see in other people?
I feel like I'm in a counseling session with myself. Common triggers. Oh, abandonment is a common trigger for people.
Ooh,
Yeah. Fear of commitment is a trigger. Fear of conflict is a trigger. Fear of disconnection. That's a common trigger. And often those triggers come from deeper rooted issues. So something that happened in childhood, and then they carry that into their relationships. There's this incredible book, and I think we've spoken about it before, called Getting the Love That You Want. It's written by two psychologists or two doctors, and they talk about how we go into relationships subconsciously trying to heal the wounds that were created by our caregivers. So if you have an absent father, for instance, so a father that either is there, however they're not actually present, or a father that abandons the home, or a mother that abandons the home, right? You've got a situation where there's this lack of a particular caregiver or a certain figure in that person's life, and they develop these fears of abandonment, and then they will go into their first romantic relationship looking to heal that subconsciously and as they go. So by the time they get to midlife with that, they've got quite a lot of stuff in that bag.
Literally baggage.
Literally baggage, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So where do we get the idea of what is an ideal family? Because in some cultures you've got polygamous marriages, you've got, different roles for different genders. Western society has the concept of a husband and a wife and their children. However, if you're having a look at current stats, right, approximately 50% of marriages fail, and the rest of them, how happy are they? So what's ideal?
I think that's where I was going with that thing, as in, so when you're growing up, your most basic needs are met. So even though there may be some turmoil or some stuff going on in the house, quite often people will revert back to that as a feeling of safety and security and love and everything.
That's not an ideal home.
When they're older.
An ideal home is if their basic needs are met.
I'm a bit more aspirational than that. I think an ideal home is where you're safe and
Loved.
where your most basic needs are met, and love. That's a big one. Yeah.
Okay. Feel that you can communicate.
Yeah.
Openly. That would be a big one.
Is it more of an English thing? Like
I wouldn't know.
That's why I'm throwing it to you. That children should be seen and not heard. That sort of thing, or is that?
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Someone who's grown up in an environment that may be less than what you'd consider ideal when you're a bit older, creating your own environment, sometimes fall into exactly the same environment with the partner they choose and with the...
Yeah, it's all that they know, right? Yeah. And then they attract similar behaviours in the partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very serious topic, Brendan. Triggers and...
It is. Do you want me to lighten it up a little?
I do.
Yeah.
Give us the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm thinking, let's say you go out on a date. Here's someone you've met,
Totally hypothetical.
You don't know
or is this a story of yours?
No, hypothetical.
Are you sure?
This is a friend of mine.
Okay.
Stick it to a friend of mine.
Okay.
Now I've got to make something up.
A girlfriend of yours?
No,
so
just
I thought you said a girlfriend.
Okay.
A
friend.
Right.
Yeah. So say, for example, they've gone out a couple of times, great date or something, and fun times. We live in a beach environment up here. And quite naturally it's like, okay, yep, let's go to the beach.
Okay.
And then down the beach, there's other women getting around in swimming costumes, bikinis and everything.
Yes. Well, it's a beach.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the person, the person
they're there
with, the female that they're with, maybe a little bit more self-conscious about her figure. Yeah.
Right.
Midlife and all. That's, we are the way we are.
You're assuming. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm giving an example.
Okay.
Of a hypothetical example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that maybe nearby is like a stunning woman in a bikini, maybe a bit younger.
Okay.
So, there's that little bit of threatening sort of thing. And quite innocently, the bloke may be just doing nothing. However, gets a bit of cold shoulder, hot tongue, just for the proximity.
Do you think that is? Do you think that's a trigger, or do you think that's general behaviour?
Oh.
Yeah. Well, are men like that? When men go to the beach, midlife men, right? Yeah. Do men have that feeling as well? So if they get onto the beach and there's so let's say, hypothetically, there's a guy with his new girlfriend and he's in his 50s and a 30-year-old stud walks past, right? Like lifesaver, gorgeous. Do you think he feels a bit triggered as well? Or do you think that's just a female trait?
No, I think he wears like a lycra top and keeps it on. Tries to suck it a bit,
I think that's a human trait.
Sun protection is for sun.
I think that's a human thing.
Okay.
I think it's, again, we're looking at what's outside of us, right? Again, women especially are pressurized into looking younger than they are and not to age gracefully or not to, and that's such a cliche, age gracefully, right? No one wants to age gracefully.
Yeah.
We want to be graceful. We don't want to age gracefully. I mean, that's a terrible statement. However, I think that's something that, again, a woman that's not incredibly comfortable in her own skin, and a lot of women aren't, a lot of people aren't. So I think that's a human thing. There's going to be those types of triggers. What about triggers that are pretty serious things, like a trigger where communication issues within relationships, or women or men that have come from abusive relationships, previous relationships, and then go into a healthy relationship? And that can be any type of abuse. And by the time we've all come to midlife, a lot of us have copped some type of abuse, right, in some form. So when you go out into the dating world again, which you have done, how do you come across that, or and how does that show up when you're dating? No names. Does it show up? Because now you've got these people coming in, meeting with a lot more stuff in those bags, right?
Oh, I've got an example.
Okay.
So I was somewhere a couple of weeks ago,
Right.
sitting down, and
You sure you weren't standing? Sitting?
It's at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's at a place, and there were a couple sitting at a table right next to me, and it appeared like they were on a date and fairly new into things.
Yeah.
They were, by their discussion, and I could. It was a noisy pub, and I could hear everything he was saying, because I was by myself. I was waiting for someone to return to the table. And so I could hear every word, and he was having to speak quite loud. And he spent about 2.5 minutes straight talking about his ex.
Oh.
And I was just cringing the whole time. I thought, oh, buddy, that's really poor.
Oh.
And it wasn't completely complimentary,
Okay.
what he was saying.
That's a red flag. That is a red flag.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like speaking about a previous boss badly. You don't do that on an interview. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Why'd you leave the last place?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I couldn't wait to get out. Yeah, this thing happened.
My boss was psycho. Yeah. You don't do that on an interview.
Yeah. What happened with your ex? I find that's a really interesting question when you do meet someone and you're out on a date.
Yeah.
And they ask you what went wrong with your last relationship or a previous relationship.
I think that's a very rude question.
A rude question?
Yes.
Why do you find
what
it a rude
went wrong?
question?
Well, maybe nothing went wrong.
Or something went wrong.
Maybe
That would be the assumption.
Maybe you're just uncoupled.
Disconnected.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And why, is that something you have I wouldn't know. Is that something you talk about on a first date?
Well, the thing that I find really interesting is that why would I ask the person who I'm dating what went wrong? Because I'm only going to get their version, right?
Absolutely.
And everyone's got some sort of cover story, haven't
Have
they?
you ever had someone say, oh, they were amazing, it was me?
I've said that.
Really?
Yeah, of course. I completely have.
I'm trying to think if I have. I think it was always me. I won't say it though.
You don't think anyone else has been saying, oh, no, we had an amazing relationship. We're just not together anymore.
We uncoupled.
It ran its cycle.
Oh, yeah. So how long did that date last for? The one that you were eavesdropping?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think he still had the green light. Yeah. I think things were going on quite well.
Oh. So what do you think women think when they say things like, my ex is a psycho?
Oh. Maybe they're putting up a boundary.
Who?
I won't tolerate a psycho.
I won't tolerate a psycho.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're giving you their list.
Okay. Yeah, I think
that's an amusing thing.
is that a
Have you ever come across single women, a big group of single women who are on dating apps and who share information?
I have not. You have, obviously.
Yeah.
Do they have lists?
Yes.
Does it say
and they compare their lists, and they're very strict on their lists.
Okay. How many lists?
And sometimes they're unwavering about it, regardless of how they may appear on their own list.
How do you know that?
Well, sometimes you get inside information, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I'm not part of the mix, right?
No.
Let's say you're already going out with one of their friends.
Okay.
And then you manage to get into that friend zone a little more.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
This is
you
getting
hear about the
interesting.
lists. Yeah.
Now, what's on the list?
Well,
these
the other
women?
thing I find amusing is that
What's on the list?
they're all comparing. They're like, this guy, you've got that, you having this guy, and they get to share information.
And men.
Intel.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not share the men, just like, not necessarily. However, no, in that particular case.
Have you never been shared?
Have you ever gone out with someone and then you meet their friends and you're like, oh, I should have hung out there a bit longer. I could have got that one.
Have you?
No, never. It's never happened.
Oh my gosh. What's on these lists? Is there something there that would indicate a trigger for the woman? So is there a list on there is there something on these lists that like, I don't want a man that drinks alcohol because maybe her ex-partner was an alcoholic or she grew up with an alcoholic parent or something like that?
Yeah, certainly. I've heard that before. Or not like a big drinker, let's say.
Okay. Yeah.
Or others that want
or a smoker.
someone to be more social.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 What else?
Vegan. No,
Vegan.
I haven't.
Well, I'm a vegetarian.
You are?
Yes. Yeah. And, you know, that would actually be something that would come up, really. Like, I don't have meat in my house. So what happens when
Ooh.
I know?
Not at all.
Well, not really. Definitely not in my fridge. No.
So, hang on, but you're the vegetarian.
My
and
daughter
you've got
and
a
I are
house
vegetarians.
of other people.
Yes.
Oh, your daughter as well.
My daughter's a vegetarian, and then the boys in the home eat fish and chicken. However, that's bought and cooked and eaten, and that's it. There's definitely nothing left.
So nothing
in the
hidden
fridge.
in the freezer or anything?
Maybe a couple of pieces of chicken. However, definitely not red meat. So how does that? I mean, that might be on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, I don't know if I'd want a vegetarian man.
Okay, very cool.
That's not true. If they're vegetarian and they're rich, we'll be fine.
Yeah. So cooking's a really big thing for me. I love cooking.
Right.
I love meat.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's really healthy to know what you want when you're out there looking, right? Otherwise you could end up with anything. However, I don't know if I'd want to be restricted to a predefined list, because then that would be sort of like you're almost not objectifying. However, you're almost like thrusting upon your ideal onto a person. Like, let's say, there's a good little scenario. So what happens when you meet someone, and you start dating and they're just perfect? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so some people, they project their ideal image onto a person. So without getting to know them, they already place all these assumptions, values, or abilities on a person. And it's almost like when they get to know them or they're in different situations, they're surprised when something comes out and they go, oh, I didn't think you were like that. And then it sort of turns on that person.
Like, is this like the that red flag of someone shouting at a waiter or being rude to a server?
Oh, isn't that a fantastic example?
Yeah. Like,
it's a defining character trait, isn't it?
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. How does someone behave when they're under pressure? That's also defining.
Oh.
Yeah.
Driving.
Absolutely. How does someone behave when they time poor, when there's time pressure? That's a big one as well.
I think traveling. You really get to know someone when you travel. Do a road trip with them, or jump on a plane, get delayed, miss a boat.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you so let's go back to your the projecting the ideal onto another human being. That's I think everyone does that because we've got an idea of what we think we want. And I think also by the time we get to midlife, we know what we don't want for sure, right?
A bit better.
Yeah, we do know what we don't want. I read something today that said, I said no to 50 men and I still chose the wrong one. How's that?
What's that?
It was just like a meme. That ties in exactly with what you said in terms of you think you know them. And how much do you actually know someone? My parents were married for like 50-something years, right? And I think they still surprised each other at the end of that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And people change. So talking about by the time we get to midlife, people who they were at the beginning of their marriages or at the beginning of their long-term relationship to who they are when they hit their 40s, their 50s, they're different people. And you have this concept of people growing together or growing together, growing apart, growing back together, that sort of, ebb and flow in a relationship. And then you also get situations, and this is why I was talking about the uncoupling, right? You get situations where people grow and they do grow apart. Not necessarily because each of them are growing in different directions. One is going in one direction and the other one doesn't want the same things anymore, especially when you have relationships or long-term relationships where there's big age gaps. So you've got, a younger partner and that partner, when you met them, maybe in their 20s and you were in your 30s or whatever the case is, was a certain way and wanted certain things. And then hormones come into it. I mean, how many conversations have we had about women initiating divorce? 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And a lot of emphasis is put on their hormones because when they get to that age, right, they've had their children, their hormones are changing. There was this excellent podcast I was listening to the other day about menopause or perimenopause. And the doctor that was being interviewed said one of the hormones that decreases for women is responsible for empathy. So by the time a woman gets to middle age, she's not really that worried about her husband anymore. She's not very concerned about how he feels. She starts looking at herself and thinking, well, how am I doing and how am I feeling? What have I sacrificed? And that's a little bit different to men and their hormones. So you've got these changes that people go through. And if you're not a close couple or you don't have that partnership where you dedicated to growing together and you allow those gaps within your relationship, you will grow apart. And I think the mature and the conscious thing to do is to recognize that and not hurt each other in the process and let each other go with love. And I say that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That requires a certain amount of maturity, doesn't it? Or
respect.
Compassion. Yeah.
Yeah. It requires a certain amount of respect. And if you've spent a life with someone and you've gotten to that point, surely you respect them as your child's parent. And those men that are sitting there on dates talking about their psycho ex-wives don't respect their ex-wives or what are their children learning from that?
I was actually thinking about this the other day. I don't think it serves anyone well not to have a great relationship with your ex if you share children, or even just an ex full stop. That
I don't know.
Unless if you changed countries.
I don't know about an ex full stop. I do think that everyone teaches you something, and people walk away from relationships with issues and baggage and triggers. So how do we
Let's get back to this baggage bit and bringing stuff in and things. So I'm trying to think of an example without getting too personal with anything. However,
I think you should get personal.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you should you should share with
I
our
don't know how I
listeners.
can do this ambiguously. I'm thinking that, fear of abandonment, it was one of the ones you used earlier, and that's a good one.
I carry that. I carry a fear of abandonment. So my first husband used to disappear on binges, and he was an athlete. And then on the off season, they would have these massive binges, right?
It's a bit like our footy plays.
Yeah.
Mad Monday.
Pretty much, yeah. So off season, they would really, they would play hard, and they would, the work hard, play hard mentality. So he would go on these binges, right, and turn off his phone and disappear. And when you're a pregnant wife, young pregnant wife with no family around, that can be really confronting. I think the first few times that he did it to me, I was phoning the hospitals trying to see if, we weren't married at that stage, and I wasn't pregnant. However, I was, worried that maybe it had a car accident, or, I lived in Africa, so I thought maybe it had been hijacked or attacked or assaulted or something like that. And anyway, and then when he came home a few days later, it became apparent that was a behavior of his. And when I reached out to other adults, to his parents, and anyone that I could relate to as for guidance, they told me that was completely normal, and he's a man, and that's acceptable, and I was a wife, and I should have a cup of tea. Literally, I was told to have a cup of tea and go to bed. Don't worry about it. He'll be home when he's ready. So, as a young girl in that situation, you think you're overreacting to something that you feel in yourself is not right, and that causes triggers. So I definitely carry that. I would hate to put myself, that would be on my list. I would hate to be in a position where I'm with someone that just disappears and turns off their phone. That wouldn't work for me.
So someone in that who's experienced that, let's say they years down the track, they meet a new person, and let's say that bloke, or we'll keep it man-woman, he has an annual trip with his mates, or they're just going on a trip, a golf trip.
Right.
Going away for 3 days.
Right.
Going to be drinking, going to be playing golf.
Right.
Eating steaks.
Yeah. Okay.
They might be going, who knows, but what would go through
someone like me? What would go through my mind?
Someone who's had their experience. Would they be thinking the whole time, he's, off to the Rhino Club, the gentleman's club? Or
what's the Rhino Club?
Well, allegedly, it's a place in Melbourne.
Really? Fictitiously?
I've never been there. However, it's a gentleman's club, I believe.
Okay.
Serve good steak.
Loads of those down Nicklin as well.
For some reason, every countertop has these poles in front of them.
Okay. So you're saying is that a trigger for someone like me who's had that?
What would go through a person's mind? What would go through your mind if that was you? Yeah. So you've had this experience back in the past. The first husband disappears days on end.
Yeah.
Comes back.
Right.
Have a cup of tea. Get over it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I've been married again, right? And I married someone that did that. Went on surf trips. And travelled quite a bit. And I think there's two sides to every trigger, right? So we come into relationships with stuff, with let's call it experiences. We're more experienced, right? So we come into relationships with these experiences, and we're on the lookout for them. So this is literally our reticular activating system working, looking for the same things in a new relationship, and warning red flags. Looking at it from both sides, you would need to realize that is an experience that you had with one particular person, not necessarily it's going to happen again. So being conscious of that yourself, and then the partner being aware that you bring that anxiety or that trigger, and making it comfortable and a safe space. So if your partner wants to go off and travel with the boys, that's healthy, right? That's a healthy thing to do. a message would be great. A phone call once a day or when they go to bed would be great to say, hey, had a great day, missed you, thinking about you, speak to you tomorrow. This is what we did today or whatever. Just that check-in. I think that should put that fear of abandonment to rest.
Let's say it's still early days, a few months or something, or 6 months you've been with someone, and you go on that first trip. So I'm off, I'm going to play golf with the boys, and my new partner, I'll call it a new partner, might be like a little bit, they're a bit nervous about that. Things have been going great.
Now, does this new partner do the same thing? Do they?
Maybe not. Let's just say this guy going off first. Can I trust him is probably what's going through their mind and everything. And the guy's probably going, well, let's say he's come from a relationship or a marriage where he may have, toward the end of it, felt rather restricted. And one of the things that he said is, hey, I've lost contact with my mates. I don't do anything, specifically with them and get away and just do a bloke thing. And I think that's really healthy and I need it. So off he goes, first golf trip away. And exactly that happens. That rolls out, calls up, gets that funny sort of feeling over the phone, and goes, oh my God, like it's
happening
amazing
again.
Woman, and it's happening again. Yeah. However, it's because that woman's had the experience with her partner or husband before, where something's gone wrong, and it has been legitimate to have those feelings and everything. Now, you don't necessarily bring it to someone at the beginning and say, hey, I have this problem or I've had this experience in the past.
Bringing a disclaimer.
Yeah, it's sort of like, hey, I've got this real trust issue with just men in general because, I dated a couple of guys and it turns out they were dating other women at the same time.
I'm going to point something out,
and you're a good person and now I don't know if I can trust you.
Yeah. So we were talking about you because you said, you felt a bit restricted. Is that it?
No. I said, let's say
the person
felt restricted.
Okay, the person felt restricted. Well, that's on them feeling restricted. Then they were not keeping that space. They were not communicating.
Yeah, so now they're doing something about it. They're going with the boys, play golf.
Then they can still hold that space for that person, their new partner.
Yeah.
Keep her comfortable. Keep her informed, keep her updated.
Right, okay. So that's a suggestion. Communication. Keep it open, keep it up front.
Absolutely, yeah.
What happens if you're down there, you're having fun?
Mates? Well, that's
so
on you.
You don't want to give that call like late at night.
Why not?
Because you might have had several drinks by then.
So what?
And you're still out. And then what happens if you go, hey, honey, having a great time with the boys, just needed to know that,
well, then she's your mother. She's not your partner.
No. But you're telling them that, right? And you're saying, hey, miss you as well. That's all right. What happens then if you get that? Because you don't know about this in the past.
Oh,
and this is where the triggering part comes in, right? So this is where
right.
what I mean about red flags, and they might pop up later. Here's the example we were after.
Okay.
So you get that short, like, having fun with the boys. That's good. Right. Yeah, you enjoy yourself. You have fun. Okay?
I've actually had that happen to me. Yeah. No, I didn't say it. I've had that said to me.
Said to you. Yeah. You have a good time, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say you continue on the trip, you come back a couple of days later, it's a short trip, right?
Right.
Everyone's okay.
It's incredible how detailed this is.
I talk to many men who are in this position.
You do,
yeah.
right.
Anyway.
Yeah, golf trips, having great times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhino clubs.
Yeah. Yeah. So they get back, okay, and then it's like you would expect. It's like had a great few days away. You want to dive into open arms, right? And enjoy yourself, and or go, hey, honey, like let's.
And she's giving you the cold shoulder.
Yes.
Okay.
Like bit of hot tongue, cold shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Just that, like the attitude, like bit of contempt, rolling the eyes.
Right.
What
would you
be
do?
the best way?
What would you do?
What would I do?
How would you handle that?
In the past
How would you handle
or now?
a woman like that? In the past.
I can
How
tell
did you handle this woman you're talking about? In the past.
No. So in the past, I would approach any of those things by avoiding everything. Being really good, like, cook a nice dinner or something. And
I think this happens
let's
all the
go out.
time to men and women.
I think this is common. Yeah.
Very common.
And you just avoid the whole thing, like,
Okay. She'll get over it.
No, just like bide your time.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, why
Until
don't
she gets
make
over
a good suggestion? Why don't you and the girls go away for a weekend?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and you have fun. Maybe that's why women feel that way, because when girls go out and they're fun weekends.
Oh, they have a lot of fun. They have a lot of fun.
You got to watch the photos. Sometimes the wedding rings are missing.
I can tell you that I have spent time with women and men, and the women are worse. The women are worse.
Worse or better?
Better.
Better at having fun.
Better at having fun. Absolutely.
Blokes are knackered. You do 3 big rounds of golf with a few drinks and a big meal.
Yeah.
They're not going out all night. They're stuffed. They got to
yeah.
get up early next morning.
Women are looking for fun. Women go out to look for fun. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lots of bottles of wine.
Lots of bottles of wine. And women are naughty.
Cocktails.
Yeah.
Naughty.
They are naughty.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing here. I just think that I might have missed out on a big opportunity somewhere. That's all. Naughty women in big groups.
With no wedding rings.
No wedding rings. That sounds pretty appealing sometimes. There's a lot of trouble in that.
So in the past, you would have just avoided that sort of scenario.
Yeah. And I know a lot of men who do the same.
Okay.
Avoid.
And how healthy is that?
Terribly unhealthy.
Yeah. I would hate to be in a relationship like that. As a woman. Yeah.
These days, I would bravely address what had happened.
I don't think you would end up with a woman that would give you the cold shoulder and a hot tongue if you went on a trip with your mates. I think that we meet each other, couples or partners meet each other at the level that they're at in terms of their understanding and their self-development and growth. And I think that when you get to mid-age, if you've had a marriage behind you, if you've got a relationship or a few long-term relationships behind you, I think by the time you meet that next person for that, other half of your life or, the next long-term relationship, you'll meet them where you are. So if you like that, you'll attract someone like that.
Right, okay.
Because the first red flag that comes up about something like that, you would say, that's not on my list. That's not on my list.
Is it worthwhile taking the time to explore that with the person?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
To see if they're
so then you're not avoiding
aware
it.
enough,
right?
Or have that similar hope or understanding that you have, that you become aware of a behaviour or something, realise it and acknowledge it, and then somehow try to improve from that. Like, so that trigger wasn't a constant thing that slowed you down. I'd imagine that'd be hard. Like, you meet people who are jaded, right? Yeah, men and women who are like, well, I've had enough of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people end up not wanting to date at all.
Or just being lonely and really wanting to date, but they can't. They
can't
profess
connect.
not to find anyone who's
up to their list.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a great way to approach those sort of conversations is not to avoid it, is to ask a very direct question.
Direct question.
Yeah.
Okay.
As in, if in that
So,
scenario.
for example,
right.
I might go, hey, look, I got this feeling on the phone
Yes.
that you were really a little bit pissed off with me.
No, because you're attacking, right? Because you're telling that person how they're feeling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you would say something along the lines of, hey, I can feel there's a bit of an energetic shift that's happened.
Okay, yep.
Is there something you want to share with me? And give her the space to have the conversation.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Create the space.
Yeah.
As soon as you say, hey, I feel like you pissed off with me, you're telling someone how they feel, and immediately, especially someone in their midlife and they know what they want and what they don't want, immediately they will be, oh, don't tell me how I'm feeling. You did this. Never point fingers. I was listening to something again today. I've listened to it before. It was Kate Hudson talking about her mother, Goldie Hawn, and she was saying how whenever they had something bad to say as kids about someone else, and they were saying things like, you did this, that person did this, and they pointed a finger at someone else, their mother, Goldie Hawn, would say, and you've got 3 other fingers pointing back at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best way to do it is to open space for them and hold that space. So I can feel there's a bit of a shift. Is there something you want to share with me? Is there something on your mind? I'm here to listen. And often a great way to get them to open up.
I'm here to listen. I like that.
Yeah, a great way to let people talk and open up is to say something like, we're both on the same team and I want to work this out as much as you do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because immediately that takes down the walls, right? And then if it is a trigger, that woman would say, my previous relationship, my ex-husband used to disappear on binges for days at a time, and I felt abandoned and alone and uncared for and unseen. And if that's something that man is happy to deal with, or that man is happy to discuss and work through with her, then there's another growth opportunity for both of them and the relationship. If not, red flag, leave.
I can imagine that would diffuse a lot of arguments, that approach.
Well, you both have to meet each other at the same consciousness level.
Yeah.
So you can hold space for someone until you blue in the face, right? You can say, I can feel like there's a shift. Is there something you want to share with me? Is there something you want to ask me? I'm on your side. Can we have a discussion around, what's troubling you? If there is anything troubling you or you want to share something with me, and if that person doesn't communicate with you, there's nothing you can do. You can't force it out of them. You can't pry their mouths open and say, right, tell me what you need to tell me or what's going on. Communicate with me. You can't do that. So if you really are committed to finding a partner and having a relationship where it's a conscious, healthy relationship, you're both going to come with stuff. It depends on how much stuff you're willing to tolerate. And it depends on how much stuff you're willing to work through with that person. Because often the stuff that they have to work through, they're mirroring you.
That's a good way to unpack the baggage that everyone brings.
Maybe don't call it baggage.
No. Triggering.
That would be on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. And often, you also get people that come into relationships and pretend that they're healed. I'm
over it.
Yeah, I've gone on this retreat, and I, took a mushroom, whatever, and I've dealt with all my stuff, and I'm now looking for a whole healed person. They don't exist. There's no such thing.
I ice bath every day.
Right, yeah, I ice bath and I sauna and I run like
meditate.
8K and I meditate. Yeah, there's no such thing. And I think you and I were talking about it earlier today. People are not conscious all the time. It's impossible to be aware and conscious all the time.